good morning and welcome back. The month of February is Heart Month, and not just because of Valentine's Day. It's a time when all people can focus on their cardiovascular health, and it is very much relevant to expectant mothers. A new study shows breastfeeding can reduce the risk of heart disease and stroke for women. Jackie with Sanford is here to tell us more about how mothers can reduce their chances of risk. Good morning, Jackie.
Good morning.
It's great to have you here.
Thank you.
It's, an important topic, an important month. And of course, if you are a new mom out there, you might be wondering about a lot of this information. So first and foremost, how does breastfeeding benefit not only a mother, but the child as well?
So typically there's more of a focus on the benefits for the baby than there is for the mom. And now all of the studies are pointing to things that we already suspected, is that there's just as many benefits for the mom.
Okay, yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, so any amount of breastfeeding, so this doesn't mean you have to breastfeed for a year, it doesn't mean you have to be exclusive, but any amount of breastfeeding has a significant reduction in heart disease, cardiovascular disease of any kind, so stroke, heart attack.
Wow.
It also reduces risk of reproductive cancers, ovarian, breast, uterine cancers. So there is a whole host of reasons why it makes sense for the mother to breastfeed, and it's not only for the baby. We typically put the focus on the baby like most mothers do, but we have to remember that there's also a benefit to mom.
Yeah, absolutely. And what would you advise an expectant mother, maybe if she finds herself in this scenario, because breastfeeding isn't always a reality.
Correct.
For many women.
Yep.
What would you advise?
One thing is, don't be afraid to ask for help. So if you are expectant or thinking about becoming pregnant, don't be afraid to reach out. We have a very robust lactation support team, board certified lactation consultants in our at Sanford, but in our region in general, we actually have a pretty good amount. And everybody talks about how natural it is, but honestly, I'm a board certified lactation consultant as well. I wouldn't have had a job if it was that natural and easy, right?
Thank you.
So we need to be able to support each other. And the other thing is also to know that, knowing about the benefits is not about putting pressure on yourself. Everybody on our team meets the mother where they're at. If they want to exclusively breastfeed, if they want to do partial feeds, whatever it is that their goal is, and their capability, then we're there to support them. And all of these studies are showing that you still get the benefits regardless of the amount of time you spend breastfeeding.
And that's what's interesting, and maybe a lot of people don't know this. Get into the studies and how recently we're understanding these statistics. This is a really big deal for a lot of women.
Yes. So this study came out about almost exactly a year ago, and it was a huge sample size. So that it followed many, many women, thousands of women, and it followed them for 10 years.
Wow.
So it's not a kind of one-off study. This is a very, very robust amount of data that we have. So now we know that all of these things that we were suspecting and that we have smaller studies to confirm, we have all of this data to support that any amount of breastfeeding, it is very clear in that study, is that any amount. So even if, say, I've worked with people who, could only breastfeed in the hospital because they had to start a medication that wasn't compatible afterwards. And so they still did what they could for the first few days of their infant's life and mother's life, and that still benefited everybody.
Yeah, that still made all the difference. It's so interesting to hear that, because I'm assuming a lot of women put a lot of pressure on themselves.
All the time.
You hear these stories and you read these stories, and then the guilt that comes with it if they're not able to.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So what would you say to any woman who might be dealing with any of those types of feelings?
Well, so my kids are old now, they're 11 and 14, but I remember struggling myself with my 14-year-old. And a lactation consultant said to me, and I wasn't one yet at the time, she was like, Jackie, all the breast milk in the world is not going to replace good parenting. You're still a good mom. Lost it. Started crying.
Oh, what a wonderful thing to say.
I know. And so I carried that into my own practice, and I carry that into everything that I do now. One, supporting moms with whatever they're choosing.
Yeah.
And then offering the support. We have come a long way in not only explaining the benefits, but then offering help on how to reach your goals. Because without the help to get there, then we're just making people feel bad.
Yeah. Oh, and a lot of times on people who are already making themselves feel bad.
Yeah, we don't have to do that for them.
Right. Wow. How can people find more information? How can they reach out to you? How can they get their hands on any type of information?
Sure. Well, we have a lactation hotline. So if you go to any Sanford website, or if you search Sanford lactation, there's a hotline number. You can call and leave a message. We'll call you back. If anybody is in the Sanford system, you can send MyChart messages to that group as well, or talk to your doctor, and they can get us linked together. But and then we also have breastfeeding support groups called Baby Cafe.
Oh.
And we meet 2 to 3 times a week, and that is open to anybody. You don't have to be a Sanford patient, and you don't have to have a baby yet. We have people coming prenatally with questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's open to. There's a lot of different ways to reach us.
Okay, and it sounds extremely important, clearly, with these new studies and just what we're learning right now. Thank you so much for your time and your information this morning.
Thank you.
Very important to a lot of our viewers, Jackie.
Thanks.
All right, everybody, coming up on today's show, a close-up look at last night's Grammy winners. We talked about it in Top Talkers, but now we're going to see the full story. That's right here after the break.